You already know what this is. First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive. And we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, the Heartbreak Prince himself.
I'm not your boy, toy.
Man, look, we had another crazy week of wrestling. I mean, of course, y'all know WrestleMania is right around the corner. So let's go ahead and kick it off with the 3 hours of fire with Monday Night Raw, baby.
Yeah.
I have to say it because I honestly think that Raw, again, truly was 3 hours of heat, 3 hours of fire, 3 hours of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better, baby. And honestly, we had to kick it off. But one thing I love to see, my girl, the EST, Bianca. Man, look, it all started it all. You know, we had it with EO coming out. We had Rhea. We had Bianca. Everyone's coming, of course, with the contract signing. Of course, we talked about this before. We already know what this was going to be. It's a triple threat match with Bianca, EO, and Rhea. And honestly, the way how this whole thing was going, Bianca showed so many sides of that heel Bianca again, man. I mean, honestly, from the fit, from how she was acting, really kind of throwing the contract back on to Rhea. I mean, honestly, it went crazy. But of course, how did it end? With EO kicking both of them at the same time, looking strong. I mean, and honestly, from the finish, it's looking like it might just be EO. Then we flash forward to something that was pretty interesting with Dirty Dom, Finn Balor, of course, with the whole Judgment Day, and Liv being in the back right there. Honestly, just talking about this whole fatal four-way match, and Finn was just saying a couple of things to Dom that he don't got that grit in him, that he can't win the big one, and he can't win it all. I mean, honestly, I think people forget that my man Dom definitely won the North American champion a couple of years ago, but I guess we ain't gonna talk about that. But it was just crazy to see how Finn and Dom are really kind of looking right now. And honestly, in my opinion, I'm thinking Dom might be getting his Intercontinental Championship. Then we flash forward to something that honestly really, truly pissed me off to see because, I love Bayley. And, of course, Lyra Rucker, we've talked about this so many times, but this whole IC title, at this point, please, somebody just take this title off of this woman because we're not even seeing anything happen with this. I mean, to the fact that now these women are a tag team.
Stupid.
And it's not even being defended at WrestleMania. It makes no sense. But then again, hey, we'll see what happens. Lyra beats Bayley, and it's from a rolling pin. I mean, it was a great match. Great match. I mean, I can't put down past that, but yeah, that's what we're looking at. Then we flash forward to AJ Styles and Karrion Kross. Karrion telling AJ Styles to not lose to Logan Paul. That if you lose, then we all lose. So you have to win it for all of us. We need that AJ Styles. And of course, we see what's going on with Karrion Kross. Seems like he's really trying to push AJ Styles to a way that he can see where he's been going. Because this is what Karrion Kross has been doing with everybody. So we'll see what happens with that. Then we flash forward to, American made, of course, with the Creed brothers and, good old El Grande Americano going up against the LWO, getting the W. Of course, Minnesota's going crazy for El Grande because we know it's Chad Gable at the end of the day. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll see a reveal at WrestleMania, but it was great to see him get the W. Crowd's going crazy. Everybody's just eating it up when it comes to El Grande Americano. He's really getting over with the crowd. Then we flash forward to something that was pretty interesting, which was Raquel and Liv just kind of talking talking their ish on the promo, saying they don't really care who it is that comes for their tag team title or whoever really tries to challenge them. It doesn't matter. Nobody's better than them. That they are the greatest of all time. You know, I live up to do
Three
that every
time.
time.
Three time. Three
Three
time.
times. NXT. I'm sorry, tag team champion. Well, actually, no, Raquel was NXT tag team. Anyway, let's just keep it going. Then we flash forward to Gunther coming out, feeling good. Of course, why wouldn't you feel good? You beat the hell out of Jimmy Uso last week. Of course, with the red tie, I would just think symbolizing Jimmy's blood and what he's already done. And of course, Jay comes out, comes down with the crowd. Not playing, not yeeting, all black. Honestly, I like this look on Jay. This was more serious. Actually, if they had some yeet shirts like this, I would buy them. For real. So now, Jay Uso comes down. He comes and he cuts a really emotional promo to Gunther. I mean, right to his face. Didn't do nothing physical, which in a way kind of confused me because I feel like, if somebody beat the hell out of my brother, if somebody left my brother bloody and in a pool right in front of me and I couldn't do anything, first things first, I'd be trying to put my hands on you. But
Hey man, not my brother's keeper.
come on now. Now
On site.
maybe if this is a promo that Jay cut, maybe at the hospital bed of Jimmy, and that was I could see that. But I think to face, that's where it kind of left me like, man, go ahead. But again, the emotions were there. The story was told. And I love what Jay was doing. I loved it. Then we flash forward to the New Day and the War Raiders. Now, honestly, this was a good match, a great match. Ended in a DQ and left the New Day to win and get the dub. But of course, losing in DQ. But now this also gives them a match at WrestleMania. And what happened? The New Day did nothing but just beat the hell out of the War Raiders. I mean, put them just through chairs, the whole nine. It looked great and made the New Day look strong, baby. Roderick Strong. So now we flash forward to Penta beating Dirty Dom. Now, I thought that was pretty interesting. You beat Dirty Dom. I mean, honestly, it's kind of crazy. We already got this whole match going on. So then what happens after that, when Penta beating Dirty Dom, Carlito comes and, tries to attack Penta. Then what happens? My man, Brown Break. I mean, just out here just spearing everybody. He speared Carlito. He speared Penta. He speared Dirty Dom. Almost speared Finn, but he didn't. And it looked like Finn at the end was looking strong with the Intercontinental title at the end. Was good, baby. Then we flash forward to good old Chad Gable just coming out saying how great, how Grande Americano was, and now the crowd, they just, of course, just eating it up, loving it. And they're just loving Chad Gable, everything he's doing. Then, of course, who comes out next? Right behind him? Paul Heyman. What a look at disgust, honestly, and I get it. Because it's like, what are you doing here? What are we doing here for this group here? So now Paul comes out, talks about a few things that he's got going on with him and CM Punk. Then Seth comes out. Seth comes and says, well, you know what? Roman wasn't there for you. CM Punk wasn't there for you all the bad times. Everybody just left you. So how much are you worth? What's it worth? Seth starts to put his hands on Paul. Starts to kind of pushing him around, do whatever he wants. Paul gets upset, grabs him, says, don't ever touch me again. Seth grabs Paul by the face, pushes him, throws him in the corner. CM Punk comes out, saves Seth. But what happens? Seth kind of maneuvers, gets out, gets a couple of reversals. Then at that point, got CM Punk back, hits him with a curb stomp. After that, he fakes another curb stomp to Paul Heyman, grabs the mic and tells him that now you owe me a favor. And this is the finish right here. Man, talk about a crazy Raw. Now, to be honest, a couple of things I want to kind of talk about that I enjoyed to see on Monday Night Raw. My girl, Bianca. The EXT, man, just seeing her kind of come out and just showing that heel side, honestly, it gave me goosebumps. Almost brought tears to my eyes. Because to see Bianca just doing everything that she was, the way she was, just being heel, just showing that attitude, saying, just everything. it brought so much to my heart because I said, this is the Bianca I knew. This is the Bianca I know, not that baby face. No, no, no. Let's get the I don't care. I know I'm the best Bianca. Now, of course, that being said, who's still going to be winning that match? I highly believe it's going to be Io. Do I want to see Bianca win this? Of course I do. Why? Because now this is going to extend something for Naomi and Jade down the line if they, throw something in the mix. If they do something with that, I would hope so. But that being said, it's still looking like Io's going to be the one that wins and is going to be on top. I mean, honestly, she's looked great. The crowd loves her. Every time when it's Io at the end, the crowd is just going crazy. The whole mode, yeah, she's killing it right now. She's killing it. I can't be mad at her. I cannot be mad at her one bit. Another thing I want to talk about. The New Day. Come on now. The New Day getting this tag team title shot. Now, honestly, I love to see the New Day get this opportunity. This is great. We need the New Day doing something for WrestleMania. Honestly, we need them in a tag. We need them to be champions, mainly. You got these guys out here being heels. Now it needs to be fulfilled. Now, if they don't win these titles at Mania, my only thought is if they don't win, it's because of Big E. It's got to be because of Big E. That's the only way I can see that happen if they don't win. If they do, hey, that's just the New Day. That's the new Day. That's what they've been saying. That's what everybody's been saying. But, honestly, I'm very intrigued to also see what they do with this whole thing with the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm not talking about the Women's Intercontinental Championship because, honestly, that means nothing. Obviously, that means absolutely nothing to anybody because you got a woman that has faced Bayley. You got somebody has faced almost everybody on the roster and yet to cut a promo. And it's not like Lyra can't talk, but y'all ain't giving this girl not even 3, 4 to 5 minutes to talk, cut a promo, do anything besides just wrestle. Love your wrestling. But there's nothing behind this title reign that's making me say I love to see Lyra as the champ. You want to know who I want to see as the champ? Dakota Kai. You know who else? I could have seen Ivy. I could have seen who else? Oh, let's think. Maybe we could have gave that to Roxanne Perez and had her go up against Bayley at WrestleMania. But we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're just going to put that to the side. We're going to debut 2 brand new women mid-card titles and not put them on the card for WrestleMania. Crazy work. Mr. Xclusive, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
So much. And that's what I love about WrestleMania season. We're right there, fellas. I mean, we're right on the cusp of everything right now. A lot of great things kind of cooking up as we get ready for WrestleMania next weekend. Can you believe we're saying WrestleMania is next weekend? So, look, I think Raw was a very, very good episode of Raw. Once again, kudos to the WWE for listening to what we have to say here on this podcast. Because without us, ladies and gentlemen, you would not be getting good Raw. No day.
Come on now.
Exclusive.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, if it wasn't for us, you would not be getting good episodes of Raw. Like we gave them the recipe a couple weeks ago. We told you, hey man, there's chaotic stuff going on here. We don't know. There's no storylines. The storylines have gotten better. They've built them up a little bit. They're still not where they need to be. And the main one, and we talked about it for weeks, to me, is the Bianca Io Rhea situation. There's a lot about this match that I'm excited about. This is going to be a good match. These are 3 great wrestlers. I don't expect anything but a great match from these 3 women. They're going to go in there. They're going to do amazing work. I have nothing but faith. We talked about how the storyline really hasn't built up to anything. The women's division and as a whole maybe except for Jade and Naomi, that's the only matchup women wise that makes sense. Everything else just felt thrown together. This match was kind of thrown together. We all felt that it should have been Rhea and it should have been Bianca, and they just had to find a way. They threw Io in there, But I will say though, even with them throwing Io in there, I heard somebody say this, and it makes a lot of sense. This has actually brought Io to the forefront a little bit. They did it kind of at the right time with the crowds, being in Europe, because you saw how much love she was getting in Europe, and it seemed to have now translated to our side of the world, and that's the most interesting part of it all. Like it has worked for Io, and they've given her a lot of love. Even when Io came out to the ring, and everybody was like, "Oh, Io, like what you got going on?" There. I personally wasn't impressed. I was a little bit shocked that everybody was hyping it as much as it was. It was all right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna get too, got a family, but everybody was hyping it up, and I'm like, okay. I mean, she's nice. Don't get me wrong, but come on, guys, we're doing a little too much there. Anywho, bringing it all together should be a good match. I just don't like the way that is kind of like they still approach it. It'll probably be the best match they in night 2. Probably be the best match in night 2, which we all do now and know that they have all the matches at what nights. The Intercontinental Championship match, I agree with Eric 100%. This is Dirty Dom's. It feels like it, and this is the way they kick Finn out. And I think the way that Liv Morgan was looking at Finn, like I am so like her look was, I am so sick of you. I like they have, and it's funny. That's what makes it funny is because you remember when Liv was first trying to get into the Judgment Day, and you remember it all felt like, cause we all thought, man, what's going on with Liv and Finn, because they've been kind of a little frisky stuff. At least that's the way it felt, and and now it almost seems like maybe Finn did her wrong or vice versa, because they've been nasty to each other pretty much after that.
Ever since,
it's been really weird. So I can't wait to see how that kind of unfolds. But I'm kind of I'm hearing that they're planning on making Finn face again and making him at least close to the Finn of old, which I have no and I know Heartbreak Prince feels the same way. I'm all for it. The only other thing that I will talk about, the two other things I'll talk about. I think that the Jey Uso and Gunther situation it was a really good lead up. The only thing I didn't like about it was Gunther, because I felt like they tried to make it look like he was scared of Jey Uso, like the way he was kind of just like staring and like in shock. I'm like, you're the same guy who just destroyed Jimmy the week before. That same intensity that I saw a week before, it was gone. Like, how did it just disappear? Like, all of a sudden you look nervous because Jay's a little upset and he's wearing black now? No, I did no. That did not sit well with me. I don't know what it was when I was watching it. I was just like, I just wasn't a fan of how that kind of went down. And then last but not least, for me, I think that Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins situation is interesting. A lot of people are starting to think now that, hey, it's going to be, he's going to move on with Seth. If that's the case, I don't like that. To me, there's no real emotional connection there. And it will almost feel like when Paul Heyman became the managers with McGillicuddy, it would feel that same way. There was no emotional connection there. There's only a couple people I could see Paul Heyman go to, and it would make sense if he went with my man Braun Breaker. I could feel that, like there's only certain people that feel like Paul Heyman guys, I should say, or ladies, and he ain't one of them. So, that's my piece.
Yeah. So I talked about this earlier this week with on Heartbreak with my 3 favorite things that came from this week in Raw. And I thought overall Raw actually delivered a phenomenal show this week. And it seems like, just over the last couple of weeks, they've really, focused on specific storylines and kind of help push them forward to the next stage of their evolution going into WrestleMania. So, of course, my favorite is what's going on with Judgment Day, because we've been talking for a minute about what's been going on with Finn and Dom and Liv, and how, and trying to figure out how this is going to play out, because you got some weeks where you feel like Finn and Dom and Liv and the Judgment Day are together, and then other weeks they're not, and then you got this going on between Dom and Finn, where they're not on the same page because, Dom wants to bring an extra person into the group. Finn doesn't want anybody. There's not supposed to be a leader, but Finn is acting as if he's the leader. So it was a whole lot of hodgepodge of ideas going into, the Judgment Day and kind of what they needed to do. And I think this week kind of really set the tone for the direction that they need to go, because obviously I'm ready to see Finn, like, go ahead and break off, go back to the Finn of old, kind of do his own thing and kind of become, relevant the way that he should be, that I feel like he should be. And so I feel like he can only do that leaving the Judgment Day. But what I like about this the most is the fact that this story has potential here. And it has potential to kind of carry over across, multiple months, especially when you're talking about the possibility of Dom going to WrestleMania and winning the Intercontinental Championship. Not only what that does for Dom and his career and then his standing within the Judgment Day, but also how the story plays out for Finn and him having to, to leave the Judgment Day. So kudos to WWE there, especially when it comes to Judgment Day and the storyline that they kind of cooked up going into WrestleMania. As Michael Cole reminded us probably 50 times during the show, it was a great storyline in the penultimate show of Monday Night Raw. And then my next thing that I go to and I want to talk about, just to skip a little bit, of course, is Seth Rollins and just not to like linger on this too long, but when it comes to this favor with Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, I hope and I don't see this being the situation where Paul Heyman goes off with Rollins, because I don't think Rollins needs a Paul Heyman. And so I think what I feel like is going to happen is in some way, shape, or form, Paul's going to inadvertently help Seth Rollins win this match at WrestleMania. I don't know exactly what's going to be the cause of it, what he's going to do. Maybe, he tosses a chair for Roman, but Roman doesn't get it, and Seth gets it and takes advantage of something of that nature. But I feel like something inadvertent is going to happen, and Seth is going to be able to take advantage of it. And of course, that could play for a great storyline, because we always talk about Seth Rollins being the architect and being the brains behind everything. And so you have good story possibilities there with this favor that Paul Heyman owes Seth Rollins now. So I did like where they're going with that. And then just to finish up this so we can move on to, NXT and stuff. My next favorite thing is, of course, Jey Uso and Gunther, man. It was a bunch of mixed emotions watching this, because, part of me wanted Jey to go on an all-out attack on Gunther, but I actually felt like in this situation, less was more, because you're saving that energy, you saving that heat, you saving that fire, that passion, desire, all that stuff for the grandest stage, WrestleMania. What I liked is I felt like I got more out of this segment here, especially when it comes to Jey Uso, because in my mind, I felt like he went to another level and was able to show a more story-driven side to his character. And so I really liked it. And I also liked how Gunther let him have it. He understood that he was cooking, and he didn't try to get his in type of thing. Jey Uso knocks the mic out of Gunther's hand, and Gunther kind of just stares, because it's also one of these things. It's like, what type of Jey Uso am I looking at now? This boy has grown into a man right before my eyes, because I feel like Jey Uso has to raise his level, to get to that, to be on par with somebody like a Gunther, especially in the ring and as a champion. Just because, like I said, I don't want him to go down the path of a Kofi Kingston, where, we have a champion that nobody really takes serious as the champion. And so I really did like this segment. I like what they did. I like what it set up. And so I'm excited to see, what happens here at WrestleMania. I would like to see Jey Uso win it, but I can also understand if they decide to keep the belt on Gunther. I really do. I can really understand it. And I think, honestly, it will probably drive the story that much more, because, we look at what happened with Roman Reigns and Cody when we thought Cody would get the belt, but look at what it did for Roman. The fact that he kept the belt for a whole nother year. I mean, I think that is what really sent this whole OTC character into the stratosphere, is because of the fact that it was like, this dude truly is, an unstoppable force. And so, but I'm excited because this match right here has range, and I'm really interested to see what they do with this at WrestleMania when they go head to head.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was important. This is probably like last year. We talked about in the past how like last year's WrestleMania just had a different feel to it. Like the storylines leading up, there was so much to look forward to storyline wise.
Yeah,
I feel like this year there's some storylines there, but it feels so underwhelming, I guess. So maybe I'm using the wrong word. But when they announced like, hey, here's the WrestleMania card, right? We knew what the matches were going to be. Then the way they kind of separated the nights, and like, I'll be honest with you, if I'm a fan, I'm not saying I would skip night one, but if you're gonna miss a night, my night one's definitely the one that like you're gonna miss. They got some good matches that are going to be involved in there, and some storylines that have kind of developed, a little bit here and there. But I don't know. It's just something about this year's WrestleMania doesn't have that same feel as last year's WrestleMania. You can call it The Rock not being there fully.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You can say, even with Cena kind of being involved here, I feel like the Cena Cody buildup is not what it needs to be. That's another thing. Like, that's going to be your night 2 main event match. Yes, John Cena alone is going to bring eyes to it, but there's something there that doesn't feel right. Like, there's like, in order for my mind to change, something dramatic is going to have to change on that night. Even if Cody wins, if Cena wins, whatever, somebody somewhere has to come out and change the whole atmosphere of what's coming up on this, with this WrestleMania. They may surprise us. We may be like, oh man, we were wrong about that. I want to be wrong about the way I'm feeling about this WrestleMania. I'm still gonna watch. that ain't gonna change nothing, but still, it does feel a little different.
I do feel like part of that reason is because some of the most important matches you have part-timers, headlining those matches. So this is an example. We're talking about John Cena and Cody. See, what made WrestleMania so interesting last year was you had The Rock and his transformation into the final boss, and you had this storyline of like The Rock was supposed to be facing Roman Reigns, but the fans chose Cody, and then they kind of pivoted, and they did a great job when they decided to pivot on that storyline, because I feel like without that, we wouldn't have gotten the great storytelling and the great transformation of The Rock into the final boss, and this whole thing that he did with Mama Rhodes and beating Cody with the belt and all that kind of stuff. And I think like it was just lightning in a bottle the way that kind of happened for them. But in this situation with John Cena, he's only he came for a few weeks, cut a couple of promos. He had the one little scuffle with Cody, and like this week he's not on because he's got other things, movies, and so it kind of takes away a little bit from the story and growing the story going into WrestleMania, because The Rock really put a lot of time. He gave a good solid 3 months. So you had him on TV for every week for 3 months, and him just building up this story and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas you don't have that with Cena. Not saying that it's not going to be a good match. It's just that excitement that you had last year when it came to The Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody, that was great. That was cinema. And then also, I think what holds back this year of WrestleMania a little bit is just the fact that the storylines when it comes to Monday Night Raw have been so weak going into it, because we talked about it earlier. We have what's her name as the Intercontinental Champion for the women's division, and that belt is not even on WrestleMania.
Not even on the card.
It's not even on the card for WrestleMania. They did not develop a story, a storyline, or anything to lead into this WrestleMania where she's defending that title. And so they lumped her in this week into a tag team match, and she's the Intercontinental Champion. So it's just it doesn't make sense on some things, but overall, I think I feel like the wrestlers and the matches that we have will still deliver. I think you're still gonna get an A1 match between Io, Bianca, and Rhea. I still think you're gonna get an A1 match between Cody and Cena. And I still think you're gonna get a good tag match, even though it is between Liv, Raquel, and now Bailey and
Lyra.
Lyra. Thank you, Lyra Valkyria. So I
boy.
Yeah, I think it'll still be okay. I think the wrestling talent will still carry it, but I do see what you're saying, D-Lo.
Yeah, that was my only concern, y'all. I still have faith that they're going to make us, we'll be all right, and we're still going to enjoy it. We're going to, like I said, we're going to watch it, but it's just my man.
And
Randall
I agree
Burns,
with you too, Randall. I do.
Yeah.
I agree with what you said.
Yeah,
100% fact.
Definitely.
That 2 year build up, that 2 year build up was different, and that's what made. And I know we got to move on to NXT, but if this was rocking Cody, I think we would be like, here we go, baby. Because that's what we were.
That's what we were expecting.
That's what we were expecting. They hyped it up like it was going to be that. And yes, The Rock we know The Rock's going to be involved in some form of fashion, but it's not the same. It's not what you gave us hope that we were going to see Cody and Rock, even though it may not have been the same level as him and Roman. We still had that hope. So still had that hope.
Mama Rhodes.
Mama
Rhodes. We best friends now. Mama Rhodes. We had a drink. We're hanging out. Look at Mama Rock and Mama Rhodes. They're hanging out.
Final boss, man.
Best friends, baby.
That guy.
Legendary. Final boss is legendary.
He really is. Oh man. But we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw, with everything with Cena, with Cody and Io and Bianca. Now it's time to talk about Shawn Michaels constantly cooking it up with NXT, baby. So, I got to talk about a few things with NXT. Can I say I would still give Shawn the chef's hat? I think so. I think I definitely can. Because we can still give him the chef's hat because he cooked up this week. And honestly, how did we start it off? We started it off with La Primera. Again, honestly, another week in a row we started off with Stephanie Valkyrie. Comes out. They ask her, so what's your decision? Who are you going to be choosing? She said, I'm going to make my decision after this match with Jordan Grace and Jada Parker. So now she's out there on commentary. Now, at one point, Jordan Grace and Jada Parker have a really good match. Honestly, in my opinion, Jada Parker seemed like the better wrestler in this match. A few botches coming from Jordan Grace, but then Jada Parker turns around and slaps Stephanie Valkyrie.
Right in the neck. Oh, my God.
Then Stephanie Valkyrie goes to try to slap Jada Parker back. Oh, of course, what happened? Slaps Jordan Grace. Now we're back in the ring. Chaos going crazy. Julia now comes and returns. Now, I think they kind of messed up. They just had her music go on. I don't think they let her return really kind of sink in because she just kind of ran into action, did what she had to do. They back up. And then, of course, Julia turns on Stephanie Valkyrie. And this is the look for her right here. Looking crazy. Then we flash forward. Oh, man. Flash forward to Hank and Tank, man. I don't even know what it is with these guys. Hank and Tank, man.
I like what they're doing with them, though. I really do.
There's something that they're trying to find in with themselves. But they're out here talking with Swipe Right, which is actually a pretty good tag team I've been seeing on Evolve. They're actually not bad. But they're talking to Swipe Right, and they're telling them, hey, you guys can take some lunch from us. See what y'all can do. Now, flash forward to the culling.
The culling.
Of course, with Shawn Spears. Now they're talking, and Shawn Spears tells them that the focus now changes from him to them. That the North American title wasn't about him. That the group, the culling, wasn't about him. That it's about them, seeing them grow, seeing them thrive. Well, I guess so. When you only give my man Shawn Spears a 1-month title run, I guess that's the best thing you could really say. Then we flash forward to to Swipe Right losing to Fraxium. Took a L. Great match. Again, 10 out of 10. Amazing. Fraxium looking like they're great, looking like they're on top. Then we flash forward to, of course, something that's been going on for a couple of weeks now. Interesting. With Fatal Influence kind of beefing now. It seems like all of a sudden, since Fallon Henley can't get a rematch, she can't get her title. Now it seems like JC Jane is giving a little bit of pushback. And they're trying to say who's up next to go for that women's ladder match. And they say, no, it's me, no, it's me. Nah, Jasmine Nick says it's gonna be me. So what happens? She faces Sol Ruka. And that was a great match, honestly. So we flash forward to that, Sol Ruka getting the dub. Now she's also entered herself into that women's ladder match. Then we flash forward to my man, the young OG, of course, saying that all this that was happening with the Dark State and everything like that, he knew this was going to happen. This is something he called. He told them. That's what he said. And he also said that he's ready at Stand and Deliver. It doesn't matter what Trick Willie Wonka's talking about or what Fetty, the rule is talking about. He said he's about it. Then we flash forward to Julia. Julia being out now, she's saying that she wants a rematch. I know it's kind of crazy. You just come out of nowhere, you put somebody down, and all of a sudden you just declare you want a rematch. I mean, to be honest, you was already guaranteed to have that anyway. You're the champion, you lost. You have a rematch clause. That's what that's for. I don't know why she had to really do all that, but hey, we'll see what happens. Then we flash forward to, I'll tell you, man, Hank and Tank losing to the Cullen. Okay. Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen, honestly, this look good for the Cullen. They look good, but then at the end, Hank and Tank over here crashing out, talking about what are we doing wrong? The guy on the right next to them in the audience is sitting there saying, no, you're not doing nothing wrong. They still screaming that they're doing something wrong. Hank and Tank is constantly crashing out, man. I don't know what's going on with them. Then we flash forward to Ricky Saints cutting a promo, talking about how, the North American title is a big deal for him and how everything's going on. Now, of course, Lexus King comes out saying he wants the title shot. Then, of course, Eddie Thorpe comes out saying he's been trying to get a title shot. And then, of course, Wesley comes out saying he wants the title shot. Then, all of a sudden, who comes out? Ego comes and hits Ricky Saints with a whole finisher. Puts him down. Now it's all four of these men. Now, of course, like we said before, it's fatal four-way, fatal five-way match all around the board. This is about to be a fatal five-way match for North American title. Y'all be ready for that. It's gonna be a banger. Then we flash forward to Stephanie Valkyrie telling Ava she doesn't want just Jada. She don't want just Jordan, and she for damn sure don't want just Julia, but she wants all four women.
She ain't gonna have no belt after this, man.
I'm telling you.
How you go from
Keith Lee
2 belts to none?
To be Keith Lee.
You've been calling it for weeks.
I'm telling you,
get
I
the
don't want to
Keith Lee
see
treatment.
it, but it's about to be a Keith Lee.
Oh,
bask in his glory. All right, then we flash forward. Trick Willie Wonka. Now, honestly, Trick saying he don't really care. He's saying he's gonna do what he gotta do out here, and all of a sudden, then Stand and Deliver, he gonna be both their ass. That's what he said. He gonna be both there. So that's what Trick's saying. So we'll see. Flash forward to Wesley beating Inamura. Honestly, I really like Inamura. I like the little finish that he does with the little, it looks like a beach ball or something, just trying to do a whole frog splash. It's interesting. But Wesley looking strong, beating Inamura. And honestly, I'm really liking this path that they're putting Wesley on. The whole heel turn, him having Tyson and Tyree. I love it. I love how everything they're doing.
Sonic the Hedgehog hair too.
Doing something different. Trying something different.
Looking cool.
Then we flash forward to Oba, the ruler. Now, honestly, this was great. Now, he said it doesn't matter what the young OG's talking about, what Trick Willie Wonka's talking about, that at the end of the day, the rule is going to do what the ruler got to do. And that's rule. And that, honestly, just being the winner at the end of Stand and Deliver and being that clearly. Okay. Then we flash forward to Izzy Dane getting the win over Ren St. Clair. And I'm not going to lie. A lot of people pushing for Ren St. Clair. Ren St. Clair has a very big, I don't know, the crowd's loving her. Now, honestly, I talked to Ren St. Clair way early on before, how she was the dark horse when they was having that gauntlet match for the women's, to who's going to be becoming the women's North American champion, when they was doing that whole gauntlet match. I had really high hopes for Ren St. Clair. Honestly, even now, her being in the the quarter catch crew, however you said, her being in that's really elevated her. But honestly, it was a little botchy of a finish from Izzy Dane because honestly, she kind of moved before the pin was finished. But we know now, since she is in the culling, and since what Sean Spears has said, that it is about them, that we'll see what happens. But I still don't see her winning this ladder match. So we flash forward to Ava backstage with the Meta Girls, Roxanne, Fatal Influence. They're all saying they don't have a match to stand and deliver. They need to do something. That something needs to happen. Roxanne says, I'm standing and deliver. I'm a former NXT Women's Champion. I deserve to be in stand and deliver. Ava says she's got an idea. So we'll see what happens with that next week. Then we flash forward to the Profits. Always being up, man. Just giving Hank and Tank that advice, telling them to be yourselves. Be who you are. Be who you are. Good stuff, man. I mean, got him hyped.
Hank and Tank.
Be Hank and Tank. Just be up. Then we flash forward to Dark State going up against Trick Willy Wonka, Obafemi, and the Young OG. And honestly, the match was going on pretty well. Trick Willy Wonka, I first honestly started with Young OG trying to come out. Trick Willy Wonka, he wants to interrupt that entrance. Then Obafemi interrupts Trick Williams' entrance. So that was just all on Oba. I mean, honestly, that was already friction from the beginning. Then at that point, of course, we have a match. And then the match is going pretty smooth. Then, of course, what happens? Trick gets upset. Hits Oba. Oba hits Trick. Now they're sitting there fighting in the ring. Now this transcends outside the ring. And, of course, it's left with Javon being by himself. Almost getting the dub, but, of course, losing. And then sitting there getting just demolished by Dark State. But what happens after that? It was interesting. It was the D'Angelo family. The good old other boss himself.
Tony
my
D.
My man, Tony D. Stacks came out, talked, and said, you want to mess with the family? Well, watch what's going to happen this time. Watch what happens next week. So we're going to see what happens when it comes to the family going up against Dark State. And this is the finish right here. Now, to be honest, one thing I really enjoyed seeing, but didn't surprise me because, again, we have told y'all this was going to be the trend. Oh, they're talking about The Rock. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Honestly, they're not lying about that. They're not lying. We have not seen The Rock since then, but you're not lying. But to be honest, let me go ahead and jump into it. One thing that we had already talked about when it came to talking about this whole thing, we told y'all it was going to be a fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way match. That is majority of these matches that are going to be on this card for Stand and Deliver. Okay? We're seeing this whole match for the NXT Women's Championship. We got a fatal 4-way for that. We're looking at obviously for the North American Men's Championship, we got a fatal 5-way going on with that. Then we look at let's see. Oh, yeah, my bad. We're looking at the Women's North American Championship. What do we got? We got a 6-women ladder match. Honestly, I get it. We got to showcase all the talent. But this is something we've been telling y'all before. It's going to be nothing but triple threats, fatal 4-ways, and fatal 5-ways. Because, of course, we know for the NXT Men's Championship, what do we got? The Young OG, Trick Willy Wonka, and the Ruler, Obafemi. And I love what they're going to be doing with this. Now, honestly, for Steph, again, I don't think she's going to be winning this title. I don't think she's going to be retaining. In my opinion, do I see it going to Julia? I don't think so. I don't even think Julia's winning this. I think what's going to happen is I think Stephanie and Julia are going to lose this and go to the main roster. And I'm hoping not, we don't give the NXT Women's title to Jordynne Grace because that's way too fast. And that also proves the whole shiny new toy theory we've been talking about as well. So if you do that on Jordynne Grace, that's disrespectful to Ms. Parker because honestly, that woman has been working for the last 2 years, and y'all got to put that title on her. If y'all didn't want to give her the North American Women's Championship, which you could have did that with Lonnie, you didn't do that. But now you want to put her to the NXT Championship. I get it. Y'all gave her an NXT Championship match before at No Mercy. She showed out. She showed off. Showed y'all she could do it. But if you're going to do this again with her, give her the title. Don't put this on Jordynne Grace. Y'all haven't even given Jordynne Grace enough time for her to even build herself as a character. Yeah, we know who she is. We know what she's done in Impact. She don't really need to build anything. But again, don't keep giving your titles to the shiny new toys. Give it to the people that you've been developing. Y'all got to keep doing it. Don't keep doing that. You keep doing it, it's going to look bad. It's going to look bad. Another thing I want to talk about, honestly, one thing that stuck out to me. Fatal Influence. Honestly, I know this is random because I don't really talk about them too much. But JC Jane, I don't think gets enough credit in that group. Again, this one was in Fatal Attraction. Now she's in the Fatal Influence. I've been said this before. I'm gonna say it again. She should have been the leader. She should have had a title reign as the North American Women's Champion. I mean, if anybody should have been the champion, it should have been her. Not gonna lie, not to throw anything on Fallon. I love Fallon, but I think JC's got it. She's got the heel. She's got the look to her. She can talk on the mic. She can go in the ring. I don't get why we keep making these random picks for the wrong people sometimes. I'm not saying, Sean, you ain't cooking, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie. We got to give JC Jane a little shot. She got to do more than just her being a tag team. That girl can go. That girl can shine. Give her that opportunity, Sean. Listen to me when I'm telling you. You've been listening before when it came to Lonnie. I'm not lying to you now. But of course, another thing I want to talk about, one last thing. Trick Willy Wonka, the young OG, and Obafemi. The ruler. Honestly, I love what they're doing with this, man. Honestly, and again, I still feel like it's going to be the young OG getting this dub, man. Honestly, like I don't see much with Trick Willy Wonka. I think he's definitely going to go to the main roster. Where do I think he's going? I mean, at this point now, how Melo's looking with the Miz, might need him no more. I think Trick can do this by himself. And where do I see Trick probably going to? Raw, because they need somebody like him on there. They need somebody that's going to get y'all hype. Yeah, we got Jey Uso out here eating it up, but you need somebody else. Need another star, because obviously I think y'all ain't got no stars. Y'all got a bunch of stars with you. You just got to use them. And Trick Willy Wonka is one of them. Great Prince, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
I think it's Shawn Michaels, man. Him and his ability to have good story and to capture like wrestling in this storytelling bubble. Like I don't know what else to say. I mean, Shawn Michaels just knows how to like put wrestlers in the right positions to really succeed and the right storylines to succeed. I'm loving what he's doing with Hank and Tank. And I know it sounds crazy because, every week we got Hank and Tank on here. They're crashing out, trying to figure out why can't they win. But I have this feeling that it's leading to them discovering, what it takes to win. And what better way for them to figure this out other than to be the person or be the team that takes out Fraxium. Fraxium has been dominating the NXT championship spotlight, for I don't know, months now. For like Fraxium has just been like on a different level, and they're phenomenal talents in the ring, phenomenal wrestling talents. And so I love to see what's going on with Hank and Tank, because I just got this picture in my mind of them like being Hank and Tank, and then taking on Fraxium and these guys right here and being able to win a title. I think that's cool. That's a cool storyline they have going on. I love, of course, the storyline with Obafemi, Trick Willy Wonka, and the young OG. They are cooking on all cylinders there. I love like just the little things, man. The young OG comes out, Trick comes out and interrupts his intro, and then Trick's trying to do his intro. Oba comes out as the ruler that he is and interrupts Trick, and then he looks at both of them and walks past both of them right to the ring. They fall in line where they belong, behind the ruler, Obafemi. Ooh, and Oba. I saw earlier somebody, Jay White, left a comment talking about Oba gonna get the Omos treatment. I hope that would be diabolical. Okay, that would be diabolical, because Oba is a complete package. That man can talk on the ring. Just look at the promo he cut. Just in there using the stretch bands, and they put a mic in his face, and he cuts a phenomenal promo. The dude is a monster in the ring, very athletic. You've seen him go with big, smalls, and everybody in between, and dominate. So Oba is I would like to think on a different level and a different playing field when it comes to the the business and sport of wrestling when compared to an Omos. I mean, that is the reason why he is the ruler. That is the reason why he's wearing what's my boy from Street Fighter that wore those same beads around the neck. I can't think of his name right now. It's not coming to me. But
yeah, that's funny.
That's why, Oba is, what he is. And so I love what they got going on there. Every week they give you just a little bit more when it comes to, Oba, Trick, and the rest of them. And then my last thing, and I'll digress from there, is Sol Ruka. She won this week. I'm just, hey, clap it up. Let's go. It's like finally we getting Soul back in the picture. And
we got Soul.
That Soul snatcher she delivered this week, baby.
Come on now.
Come on, man. That is spectacular. It's like out of nowhere. I mean, I love it. And so I'm excited, because I'm like, she's actually in Stand and Deliver for the North American Championship. And I think this is when she'll actually get the W, because she came up short against Lonnie. And back then I wasn't a fan of it, but Lonnie made me a fan of hers, through the way she carried that belt for the next, 2 months or whatever long she had it, 2 to 3 months that she had it. She delivered. And so now it's time for somebody like Soul to get her opportunity, because I really do think Sol Ruka could be a star. And especially the fact that I can sit here and watch her do that Soul Snatcher like relentlessly without ever getting tired of just seeing it. It's just spectacular. Love it. So yeah, great show. Great NXT show from Sean, man. I can't do anything but applaud Sean at NXT down there, because he really has the pulse of wrestling, man. That's all I can say. He has his finger on the pulse of wrestling.
Yep. Showstopper. I mean, do we expect anything else?
Man.
I know I know that's your guy.
He's the greatest.
He's my number 2 all time. There's a reason why he's so high on the list, because of all the greatness Shawn Michaels has done in his career, man. I want to give shout out to my guy Joe White for popping in here. Joe White, who's had a wrestling podcast for a long time, from pillar to post. Y'all go check my man out.
Hey, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's good people, man. So this is funny. He was like, they're definitely going to put it on Grace. The people that they've been developing have not developed on that level yet. It happens when you hire gymnasts and college athletes instead of looking in the indies, where they should have been doing all along. So actually, it's not a bad take. That's not a bad take.
That's 100% right. That's 100%, because I've been saying that. I actually was on a TikTok live not too long ago, and I had said that. I said, I think that's the problem right now with WWE. I think that they're doing is that they're constantly getting so many athletes. Now I get it, because when you get a Montez Ford and you get a Bianca Belair, people that were athletes that are thriving, a Trick Willy Wonka, you get somebody like that. I get it. You might get a Tiffany Stratton, but when you got majority of your NXT roster that's like that, and you got maybe like, let's say 10 to 20 indie wrestlers that are in that, that's something that does look crazy.
Yeah,
because that is something that's 100% true. That's what you should be focusing on. If you have independent wrestlers, cool, but it's either you do one or the other. It's either you work with the developed talent that you're working with, or you work with the indie wrestlers that you keep constantly trying to sign. I think that's what's kind of killing them, is them trying to do both is what's oversaturating the rosters, and why they keep having to do all these fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way, triple threats. Yeah. Because it's so much.
Look, they have a great problem on their hands. I'd rather them at least have a situation where they can kind of do, and I think NXT is still trying to figure out if they're still development anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're development, we know that by name. But let's be honest with you, there's a lot of times we talk at length on here about how good NXT is and what we like, what we see from NXT, the development, the storylines are a lot better from time to time. We see all of that from NXT. We know that the greatness that is being stirred up down there in NXT. So it's just, they're still trying to figure that part out. I will say, just looking at how this NXT episode planned out, I'm a little sad here, because I like Stephanie Valkyrie. I love everything about her. She's got it all. She's got aura. We talk about aura all the time, from top to bottom. She's got it. She's in the ring swag, just coming to the ring swag, you name it. The accent, I always say she got a Bond villain voice, but I love it. It makes her special. And so what I don't like about this is the way they approached it. I thought Julia was going to be gone for a couple of months, or at least a month or so. she's right back at it. She's right back in the mix. What I hate this for Jada Parker, and I hate this for even Jordan Grace, because they were leading to this. Okay, this is a 3-way. Now we know that this is the triple threat, fatal 4-way, fatal 5-way time of the year. Even Joe said the multi-mania is coming up because he knows it's just a whole bunch of multiples in the matches. That's what they've been doing this over the last couple of years. And this is where WWE has a problem at, is because they have so much talent. They want to just try to get everybody in a match. And it takes away for me, the specialty of maybe one person versus another person going at it at Mania and building that storyline. And yes, you can do it with a triple threat. I'm not saying it's not possible, but that's kind of where that's become. Anyway, I went off the rails a little bit on that. But going into this match, there's a vibe for me that almost definitely Stephanie is not coming out with this title. And this is horrible for her. Like, you come in, you win both titles. The Keith Lee effect is in full effect right now, where it looks like she's going to go out here without a title. And it's like they obviously didn't want to take this title off of Julia. They only did it because that she was injured. So don't be surprised if she takes the title right back. They really just gave her the title. But then where does that leave Stephanie? So now all of a sudden Stephanie is without the North American title, who they wanted to have the North American title. So are you going to move her up? What goes there? There's just so much with that I don't like. But I think for me, I don't like this mostly for Miss Caffey. Miss Caffey doesn't deserve this. So Jada Parker, who should be probably in that NXT, I'd rather see her in the North American match and her with a chance at that title before her just kind of in this mix. So there's just too many elements for me going on in that matchup. But I'm going to be fully invested. I'll be in there at my daughter's track meet and watching NXT at the same time. Be multitasking, trying to see what's going on there. Other parts of NXT that were great. I do like how, Oba, that whole situation is kind of developing. That's going to be a good match. Very excited about how that finishes up. Dark State playing that little sidekick character in this, really gives it a different element. It should be a really good match. How can I say this? I'm still mad.
Say it with your chest.
I'm still mad that they did Sean Spears the way they did.
I knew it. That's what
Yeah.
Because I don't like the switching of the titles so much. That's what's happening. And they did that for a long time where, we're in the era of social media. People like, oh, that person got to have a title. This person needs to have the title. We say it all the time. So we're in that mix now, but there's nothing special like somebody having a title and making that title special. So when the person takes the title away, it makes it even better. That's what we're missing right now. And NXT, I think they're trying to figure out who they want to be their long-term champions, because it's just bouncing around right now. And they don't know where. They don't know where.
Yeah.
Like the way Sean Spears, the swag that he had after taking the title, I didn't like the fact that Tony D lost the title as fast, but I think he's hurt and they're just not saying anything. So that I can let fly. But him not keeping the title and giving it to Ricky Saints right off the bat, and Sean's not even in this match. Like they didn't even mention him in this potential 5-way match they about to have.
No. And he should, man.
Lexus King, Wes Lee. I'm sitting there looking like, so he's just, it's not about me. So that was their way of pushing him out of the scene. It's not about me. It's about me developing you. They're giving him the edge treatment when he was trying to help develop Judgment Day.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know, man. And maybe he didn't want the title. I don't know. I just don't like it.
They should let him cook though.
They should have let him cook. I think he needed another couple months, man. This could have went on towards SummerSlam. But I think that they are definitely like that North American Championship 5-way, whatever they're going to end up doing with that. I like Ricky Saints. There's a part of me that thinks Ego should have that title. But I think they'll find a way to keep Ricky with the title. But I don't know. That one's another one where it could go any way. They got a lot of AEW talent in that match.
Yeah.
A lot of former AEW talent in that match.
Yeah.
So it's like, we'll see. But NXT as a whole, I enjoyed it. I am looking forward to the women's ladder match. I think go Ruka, go Kalani. I can go a couple ways on that one. I just hope that they do that the right way. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
But I am very
Hopefully
excited.
finish with a soul snatcher.
Yep. And I mean, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And I just hope that whatever way they do this, the second entry or whoever gets into that match. I mean, there's a lot of talent that we saw in this picture here that that deserve to be maybe in that match. And Roxanne Perez is on her way out. This is probably her last stand and deliver, and we won't. You know, this is it for her. So, NXT was great. I enjoyed it. You know.
Last thing, real quick. Jay White, Tony D. That's my Tony I agree.
D. Tony D, man.
He's main roster talent, man.
He is. That concept is crazy.
That concept is amazing. Oh, I love it. Yes, I love their little promos, little vignettes where they sitting in the restaurant.
Oh my God,
you know, hey, give me the scoop. You know, tell me what's going on. Yeah, that's good for an underboss. Yeah, that's a good underboss.
It's been really good stuff. Yeah, it's been really good stuff.
Yeah.
Really has. They really cooked with Tony D, man. He's cooking himself. I think he was actually on a show actually on CW. I think he was guest starring on there as almost, I wouldn't say as himself, but pretty much same type of character. So he definitely pulled that one off perfectly.
Love it.
But
shout out Tony D and shout out Keith Lee.
Shout out Keith Lee, man. We hope you're getting good. We hope you're getting better.
I ain't never forget Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, that dude, man.
He is limitless.
That's right, man. We hope to see you come back. Hey, if you come to the show, we'd love to have you.
By all means, my guy. Come on.
By all means, because we got to know what's going on with you, man. But, you know, we talked about some of the great things with Shawn Michaels cooking it up with NXT. It's time to talk about the best part of the end of the week with Friday Night Smackdown, baby. You know, got to talk about SmackDown. SmackDown went crazy. And honestly, I think, again, SmackDown truly was 3 hours of heat, 3 hours of fire, 3 hours of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better, baby. Because honestly, what happened? Something interesting. We kicked it off with Nick Aldis. This man came out talking about, you know, he wanted to be professional. So he comes out and addresses Randy Orton. Randy Orton comes out, says a couple of things to Nick. He said, look, I don't care what you got to do or who you want to put up against me. I need a match at Mania. He even said, you could take the suit off and gear up for a night at Mania.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
They tease that. So we don't even know. But I'm telling you right now, we don't want to see Randy versus Solo. I'm going to tell you that right now.
They better
not.
That's
what y'all are thinking. Don't put that in your don't book that. Because we don't want that.
Please don't book that.
This. We want Randy versus Nick. We want to see Nick. The crowd even popped when he said that. So what does that tell you? Listen to these fans.
That's
they
a
know
sign.
What they want. They want it. They want it. Pause. Then we see Solo come out.
Boo. And I love Solo, man. Let me go. I love Solo. Sorry, but boo. Continue, Eric. I'm sorry.
We got Solo and Mr. Yeah. Tama Tonga beating the hell. I mean, really beating the hell out of Randy Orton. And then who comes out? LA Knight. Yeah. Comes out. And of course, you know y'all know how this goes. We do this so we can have a tag team match for the main event of SmackDown. Nothing new, nothing crazy. And it happened. That's what we declared. So then we flash forward to good old Liv and Raquel. Now they're out here ringside to watch the good old gauntlet match. Now, if you ask me who I thought was going to win this, I'll tell you this. I didn't think it was going to be Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. But we started off with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria going up against PFC. It made no sense to me as to why these women would have lost anyway. PFC, man, come on. Stop playing. Them women, that's Shayna Baszler. That's Zoe Stark. You mean to tell me they lost to Lyra?
Where is Sonya Deville? My Lord.
It's criminal what has turned out for Shayna Baszler.
For Shayna.
It's absolutely criminal.
Compared to what she was at NXT, it's criminal that this is what she's turned out to be.
It should be studied. It should be studied.
She even cut a promo in backstage saying she was tired of it. She was pissed. Her end zone. So I get it. I understand for both of y'all.
Man, make her Intercontinental champion, man. We've already said it. Come on now.
She needs it. Then we flash forward to what happens. Who comes after them? Oh, then Lyra beats them, and then who comes out next? Then we have Maxine and Natalia. She pinned them. Then who else comes after them? Oh, this made no sense. Kane and Katana. I mean, that one really pissed a lot of people off. You have 4 tag team champions lose. You had them lose to a lot. Yeah, people were pissed. Then who else comes out? Then we had B-Fab and Meechin. Now, B-Fab has been improving so much. And honestly, B-Fab and Meechin as a tag team, I like this.
I would have took that. I'd have took that.
Yeah, I'd have been okay with them. Because at least there's a little bit of a story with them. They've got some history. Then who comes out after them? Man, the Secret Hurt Service. Honestly, I thought this was going to be something. I really did. The Secret Service, man. I really was pushing for them to at least get it.
I could have dealt with that one because that would have made sense giving them the titles with Chelsea. So I could have dealt with that. It would have been a nice look, but we didn't get that. So they beat them, and of course we'll be seeing Lyra and good old Bailey. We're going up against Raquel and Liv. So Raquel and Liv, please get that dub so we don't see Lyra with another title. Then we flash forward to somebody that needed a miracle. Somebody that prayed. And he prayed, and his answers and his prayers were answered. Because Drew McIntyre came back with the eye patch,
with the Wolverine healing factor.
Come on,
what is going on though? Look at his smile.
Damian Priest comes down. Drew McIntyre attacks Drew. He tells everything. He says, "Look, I'm coming for you. This is gonna be a street fight." Reveals he's not even injured. He's 100%. And then Damian Priest comes back out after being, after they walked him to the back, he comes back out. What happens? Drew beats the hell out of him again. Hits him with a thunderous DDT on the steel steps, looking horrible. I mean, this man had really just took Damian Priest out to the point where Damian Priest looked like this.
What is happening?
Drew is... this man, I never thought a man like this was such a man of God. This man is really praying for so much. He is truly praying. And I can see how prayer really works for him. That's
crazy.
This is going good.
The Lord
he said everybody knows what happens when he prays.
When he prays, bad things happen. And man, he wasn't lying at that point. And we flash forward. Oh, man. The DIY backstage were pretty deadly.
Yes, boy.
Pretty deadly. Throwing it in DIY's face, telling him this is what you get. This is karma. You don't deserve a title shot. Then the Motor City Machine Guns, they come out after that, tell them this is what you get. This is karma. And don't expect a title shot when we win the titles next week. We'll see what happens. Then we flash forward to my man, Ray Phoenix, getting the dub on Umberto. Now, honestly, Umberto said, all these things about, Ray Phoenix was all this and that and the third. And, of course, Santos brought that up to him and really said, yeah, you're a fraud. You're a phony. You lied. You said you were doing all this and you did nothing. So, but Ray Phoenix, again, looking strong and hit his precision kicks with precision. And I know Wade Barrett heard me say that because I swear nobody else was saying that before me. But we'll go ahead and flash forward to the next one.
He heard you, bro.
Of course, I know he did. And of course, Tiffany Roxanne Perez. And what's going on with Roxanne Perez? Of course, what's going on? She's popping on SmackDown and challenges Tiffany Stratton to a match. Of course, that looked good. So then what happens? We flash forward. Something I thought was interesting. Chelsea Green trying to get the Her Service out to help her with this match with her and Zelina Vega. Now, Zelina Vega cut another great promo and said, you got to do this on your own. You got to be a grown woman. And then what happens? We flash forward. Something that was interesting. A botch finish. Now, honestly, I don't know if this was the ref's fault, and we talked about it before, but apparently come to find out that the refs have to count regardless. They can't stop or can't slow down the time or when they start counting out. So that really caused a little botchy of a finish here because Chelsea Green had a count out. So now we're going to be seeing a title match with Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega next week. So we'll see. Then we flash forward. Man,
yeah, buddy.
Gold right here. I mean, this was straight gold right here. Naomi and Jade. Naomi calling Jade a snake. Calling her, saying all these things that Bianca won't even look at her because of her. And she can't wait to see her at Mania because at that point, she's going to make sure that Jade does nothing but proceed with caution. But then Jade also responds right after that and says that you've been jealous of me off jump, that you were mad that I had aura, that I had glow. Notice how she said aura. How important have we said it is to have that aura? Jade Cargill said that I had that aura and that glow, and you didn't have that. And that bothered her. She said that bothered her. And it wasn't her fault that Bianca and her gravitated so naturally. Come on. Oh, that glow. They got that glow. Come on. That's that last dragon. Stop playing with him.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my number one. That's my number one. Let's go.
The last dragon.
Leroy.
Come on now.
Solo.
What I said.
Oh, man. We flash forward to one of my favorite parts, which was interesting, but it was good. Something that showed history, something that showed prestige. Cody Rhodes really talking about every single title that was on there, how he broke down every single title from Hogan, hell, even from Cena, hell, from even Latino Heat, hell, even himself, hell. I thought this was great. I love what Cody Rhodes was doing. And he said even how the spinner title, how you can be a man that lived through the good and bad times of wrestling for 10 years and carry the company. And that was John Cena. But Cody cut a phenomenal promo, and it looks strong, baby. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he talks about a few things and said how John Cena didn't want to come for, to be there in Seattle, but he will be there for Vegas next week. So we'll see what happens. When we flash forward, he ain't got no choice. I mean, you got
no choice.
You got what? About what? Two a night left? And we flash forward to Tiffany Stratton beating Roxanne Perez. But what happens? Charlotte Flair comes, drags her, pulls her from under the ropes, just goes crazy. Tosses her right into the barricade. Then, picks her up, throws her into the announce table, starts going crazy. To the point where Wade Barrett was trying to stop her, and she was about to start throwing hands at Wade Barrett. Wade Barrett they was holding Wade back.
Hey, about to have some bad news for her. She better straighten up and fly right. Come on now. Come on now.
The man is saying, I just want to make sure you don't lose your job. And she said, what are you going to do? She's trying to help you. Crazy work. Then we flash forward to the tag team match, the main event. Good old LA Knight, and Randy Orton.
Yeah. And
what happens? Them going up against Solo and Tama Tonga. And of course, Randy, being crazy man that he is, takes Solo outside of the ring. And now this is what makes me wonder, and I hope to God we don't do this. Please do not give us Randy versus Solo. If this is what y'all are planning on doing, don't do it. I'd rather y'all give Randy no match than this match at all. Please. What happens? Of course, you leave LA Knight by himself, hits Tama Tonga with a BFT, but who comes out? Oh, yeah. You know who it is. Hell, you know what it is. And you know what he came to do. The small werewolf himself, the man with the magic move, came. Super kicks LA Knight. What does he do? Goes from post to post, and LA Knight from post to post, and going, just going crazy to the point where he just hit this man with 3 moonsaults, looks at the title, licks the title, goes crazy. Then after that, throws the title back on the ground, hits him with another moonsault, hits it his remote, and this is the finish right here. Man. I had to get
I know you were loving the finish.
My man had to get a drink. Man, I'm a little parched.
That whole segment had me parched for a second. I had to take a little break for the hells ain't easy. I had to be doing this so much.
It's allergy season.
It is. Hey, get me. They trying to get me. But one of the things I got to talk about, before I let y'all go, I gotta talk about this gauntlet match. I thought this gauntlet match was damn near a travesty. What are we doing here? Why are we doing this with Lama and Bailey? Let me tell you something. I don't know what they're trying to do here. I don't know if they're trying to throw in that Stone Cold and Triple H kind of thing. Or maybe the Bailey and Sasha thing they redid again. I don't know if that's what they're trying to go with it, but don't do that. We don't need that. We don't want that. That's not something we need for Bailey and Lara. There's no story behind it. Why did y'all put them as a tag team a week ago and having these women win the gauntlet? Now don't get me wrong, that gauntlet match was fire. Everybody showed out. To have PFC lose, terrible. What the heck? To have Caden and Katana lose, that's crazy. Them women, first of all, I've talked about Katana before. I hate Caden, but Katana, personally, that girl got personality. And I think there's so much with her, they can really throw and just really dry, like really, really thrive with her. First of all, the size. That woman at that size doing what she's doing is incredible. Okay. And honestly, that one promo she cut a while back when PFC messed up her nose. So I'm like, you want to see my face? Oh, this she's about to go crazy. They need to do something with her. They need to do something with Caden too. I don't know what they're doing with them, but it's not. I don't like how they did that. I was one thing that really kind of bothered me, man. I wanted to see an actual tag team go up against Raquel and Liv. You don't got that right now. Why? Because the one tag team that did lose, everybody's all over the place. Naomi, Jade, and Bianca. What they doing? Everything else, let's try to win the titles again. So that's something that ain't happening. But you know, one main thing that I love to see, my man, Jacob Fatu, the man with the magic boot, the Samoan man, the Samoan werewolf, the big blood. Okay, I seen that sign in the back, by the way. So somebody else is listening. Okay, somebody remembers when Jacob called himself the big blood. Yeah, the big blood is out. Okay, that man went crazy. And honestly, I'm still thinking he might win this. But you know what else? Mr. Exclusive, you had said something a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was very interesting. You had said that you don't think that Solo's going to win the title. Not Solo. Jacob Fatu is going to win the title because Solo will probably be the cause of that. And that's what would cause Solo to be Solo. And I do kind of see that. So we'll see what happens. But what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Hey, man, look. You know, another great episode of Smackdown. My man Joe said you got thirsty because you had to run down a 3-hour long show. I thought that was funny. I thought I'd throw that in there real quick. But it was a lot to take in, but it was definitely definitely a great show overall. But I agree with you when it comes to that fatal the whatever the gauntlet match they had going on. What in the absolute are they doing with the women's tag team division? I am so tired of them putting these titles out there and not treating them with respect. Like the tag team titles have never truly they don't have any prestige. They're just there just to have people be champions. And I will say, there's only a couple of times where I felt like they had chances. When Bailey and Sasha won those titles the first time, they should have had those belts for 10 months. They should have had them for a hot minute to start the prestige of those titles. They gave them girls the belts for 2 months. It may not have even been that. It might have been a month, but it was like 1 to 2 months, and then they lost the titles. And from that point on, it's been a whirlwind. And we saw, I would say even Jade and Naomi / Jade, Naomi, and Bianca, that trio, and their title reign technically probably the longest if you look at it until it got split up and they threw Alba Fire and the Dawn girl in there, and that should have never happened. You only did it because we're in Scotland and we want to make sure that we give the home crowd something to smile about. But they should have let that been the title reign. That could have once again, made the prestigiousness of that title what it needed to be. And when they had Liv and Raquel, who were 2-time champions by that point, go up against Naomi and Bianca and win that match actually had a little build to it. Like when they built that tag team title match up, it was the main event on Raw, and it was actually like, okay, this is going to mean something for the long term. It had WrestleMania implications to it. It had it just had a little bit of everything that they needed. There was beef there on both ends. They had the whole who threw Jade through the car situation. All of that was mixed into it. Great storyline. And what do we end up with from those titles in the storyline? Those two people are no longer in the picture on that. The other two people are fighting at WrestleMania, and then Bianca's in the other match. So there's no build from it. They just don't know what to do to those tag team titles. And then what do? Hey, let's go in and just throw a whole bunch of random people together. Why in the are Natalia and oh God, what's my girl name? Having a moment. What's my girl name?
Natalia and
from Alpha Academy.
Maxine
Dupree.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus. I know that they probably got Natty out there trying to help her develop, and that's the whole reason or
that
whatever.
Even had a little bit more of a story than Bailey and
Lyra. That had better storyline.
They at least you see them talking backstage for weeks.
Right. They do Shayna Baszler and them wrong, and
Zoe,
and it is Zoe wrong. I don't like the way that set up. Baszler's been disrespected since she got to the main roster. HP Prince said that it's nothing but 100% true. Yeah. But you do all of this, and Carter and oh my God, why am I having brain farts?
Kane and Katana.
Kane and Katana. Yeah. They tag team champions. Okay, that would have made more sense because at least, hey, we're trying to get our titles back. They never really got another real opportunity after they lost their titles. They could have been like, well, we're fighting to get our titles. There's so much they could do with these tag team titles if done properly instead of just tossing it on people. But they're doing the same thing with the women's. Well, I feel like that's what's going to eventually happen to those women mid-card titles instead of giving them proper pushes. Right now, they're doing the right thing with Chelsea. Chelsea's developing a great storyline, and to me, giving that title some prestige. Lara Valkyria, yes, she can wrestle. She doesn't talk on the mic at all. Can she not speak? Is it something that I'm missing here? Is she mute? Like, why is she not talking? Like, why is she not building up her character other than just wrestling? If that's the case, then there's so many other people that could just do that. But I'm gonna let that one go. I'm gonna let it go. But I am excited about a couple things that are happening. I am excited about what is going to happen with Naomi and Jade. I think that's going to be the match may not be the greatest match, like watching it, but I think the storytelling during the match will help carry it through and make it very interesting. Like, I'm very excited about seeing what happens in that matchup. The Tiffany Stratton Charlotte thing, I guess so. I don't know why this experience has really turned me off to Tiffany Stratton. I don't dislike Tiffany Stratton, but like, there's something about it. Charlotte pointed some things out. It's the squeaky voice at times and some other things. I was like, maybe I don't like Tiffany Stratton.
Maybe Charlotte, I don't like Tiffany Time.
Do I not like Tiffany Time? Because that's what Charlotte has kind of exposed it. Like, I feel like watching some of her flaws, because Charlotte helped expose some of those flaws, I'm like, dang, she can wrestle in the ring. Won't take that away from her. I hated that she beat Roxanne. I was hoping that Charlotte would have came in and interfere before. Before. I don't like Roxanne losing that match straight up. I mean, it's good for Tiffany Time because it helps build her up. Hey, you beat NXT champion, that part. But I felt like if you want to keep Roxanne, solid here as she's starting to make her ascend in the main roster, don't have her lose that match straight up. Have Charlotte come in there, and people would have been okay with that. Like, you go in there, Charlotte does whatever.
Yeah, interfere, or it could have been a DQ.
Exactly. DQ. Exactly. And that's why I don't get on that one. Fatu, Jacob did his thing again. I would like to see Jacob win the title. I just think Solo somehow ruins it. If it's by accident and whatever, he's gonna crash out on Solo probably at Mania, and that part is gonna be fun. Last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna give it to the Prince. I don't like the fact that the Street Profits are more likely not gonna have a match at WrestleMania. And I think they're going to end up having this match on Friday Night Smackdown. I hate that. I hate it. And I think that's another reason why they gave him the titles a couple of weeks ago, because they knew they weren't going to put him on at Mania. And I think that was the consolation prize. Like, hey, we're going to give you the belts, but you won't be at Mania. I would have rather seen that match than seeing the New Day take on the War Raiders. Yeah. Even though I think it's going to be a solid match. I don't want to say that, but I would have rather have seen, because SmackDown has been hidden on the tag team division on the men's side, and then Raw still trying to find their way a little bit. So, I would have rather have seen that, but hey, it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, what it
Yeah,
is.
I think it would be criminal if you don't have profits on at WrestleMania. I mean, it's already taking you this long to even give them another tag team title opportunity, and now they're the tag team champs, and that's
Oh wow.
another set of champions that I know.
Nicaragua.
I saw that earlier. Thank you, Cesar, for coming and watching. But what's the name? I don't know. I really would not like. I really wouldn't like the idea of Profits not being on WrestleMania and being able to defend their titles in front of a WrestleMania crowd. Not to mention, I feel like you have a phenomenal tag team match opportunity with Profits and with a DIY or with a Pretty Deadly. Like they've already shown you earlier in the year or late last year when they had a tag team title match, like the caliber of match they can deliver, and for them not to be a WrestleMania would be a crime. But as far as SmackDown, I think y'all have said it all, and it's pretty much I don't want to beat a dead horse. So with the last few minutes, I do have something I want to kind of hit on with both of y'all, because I want to know going into WrestleMania next week, and because WrestleMania obviously is going to be next Saturday and Sunday, I don't know what our show timings will look like and be like. I know we plan on doing stuff for like stand and deliver and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But my question to y'all is, I want each one of you to pick one match from Raw, one match from NXT, and one match from SmackDown that's going to be at WrestleMania, and tell me why that's your favorite match, or why you look forward to that match.
That's good. That's good.
For the card that we got coming up.
For the card that we have coming up at WrestleMania, one from each brand.
NXT, I'm gonna go with the women's ladder match. I think that that to me that is even more intriguing than the women's like championship match, because I feel like there's a couple storylines in there or a couple people that deserve a chance to be champions that it would be fun to see. And the last one was a really good one, so I expect this one to be a really good one. On the Raw side of things, I guess I'll say Bianca, and I don't know, it's not the one because I'm not excited about the storyline. I'm not excited about the storyline. I mean, it should be a good match, but I'm not excited about the storyline. I'll just jump to SmackDown. I will say Jade and Naomi. But it's a close one between LA Knight and Jacob too, because I really like that mix. But I would say I'll go with Jade and Naomi. I don't, Eric. If you know the other two, let me think on Raw for a minute. No, did it?
All right. I'll say for NXT, I would definitely say definitely gonna be that triple threat match, man. Oba, Trick, Willy Wonka, Young OG, man. That's one I feel like it's gonna be a banger of all bangers. I kind of thought about it too. Somebody had mentioned in one of our TikTok comments that if Javon Evans was to win, he would be the youngest NXT champion. So that would be crazy to see that history be made for him. I would love to see it for him, but that'd be something I'd be excited to see. I just think that's going to be a banger of a match. Of course, Oba is amazing at selling. Trick, Willy Wonka, great with it, and of course the young OG getting bouncy. So I know it's going to get crazy. For SmackDown, it's a toss up. For me, I would say it's hard to say because it's either between Jade and Naomi and Jacob and LA Knight. I think for sure. Again, I think the buildup with LA Knight and Jacob has been real solid. I think because I don't think what people understand is that storyline's been happening with him, even with the Bloodline for a while now, for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
So they've had a solid storyline to where it's built up. So I like what they're doing, but I've loved what they've done with Bianca, Naomi, Jade, and I mean even the Jade and Naomi, like the vignettes, the video pack. I mean, it's gold. I love it. So I'm really excited for that match. I think I do think overall though it's probably gonna be LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. I think it's gonna have the better actual overall match. Just Jacob Fatu, that's the man with the magic boot. That man go coast to coast, post to post, gonna go crazy every time. You know what he's gonna do. And for Raw, I do feel you. I do feel you. Part of me thought about the Fatal 4-Way match. I thought that could be one that could be the banger. I think that could be one that's got the story. That could be the one that's going to give that pop because of Dirty Dom. In the Finn situation, I think that one's got it. That one's probably got the most story out of all of them. And of course, I would have said Bianca and Io and Rhea, and only because I would have said it because I want to see Bianca go fully heel. I want to see that heel version of Bianca. So that would have been me. That's my
That's cool. I mean, the 4-way does sound like a good one. I mean, I can deal with that.
Ray and Grande America.
Yeah.
Hey, I will say that should be a SmackDown match. I'm sorry, and I love Gable, but Rey Mysterio, like, that doesn't give me any. I love Rey Mysterio, but that doesn't give me like that. That's a match that I'm like, to me that's not WrestleMania worthy.
No, because it just came out of nowhere.
If anything, Gable should be in that match for the Intercontinental Championship. Why is he not in that?
Yeah,
stupid. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, he should be in that mix.
Yeah,
he
should have been.
Yeah, should be in that mix.
Well, I'll give mine. For Raw, I'm definitely going to go with, especially after this week, Jey Uso and Gunther. I mean, that might be the low hanging fruit, but my next option after that was the Judgment Day, because I'm really intrigued by this idea of Dirty Dom winning the Intercontinental Championship belt. So that's my match for Raw. For NXT, it's definitely the triple threat match. I mean, you got two of my favorite wrestlers in Trick and Oba. Javon is growing on me, but yeah, to see where that goes and how that match plays out, because I feel like Oba and Trick are both ready to go ahead and go to the next level, go to the main roster, and it's after WrestleMania where you start to see that changeover of talent from NXT coming into to the main rosters or whatever. So that will be interesting to see if Oba will hang on to the championship. So that's my match there that I've got penciled in as my must see. And then for SmackDown, for me, when it comes to SmackDown, the match I'm looking forward to the most. Oh man.
It's a little tougher.
It is because
it's a little tougher.
I'm going to say it's not going to be popular. I'm probably going to say Tiffy and Charlotte. Call me a homer because everybody knows I like Charlotte, but it's not for the reasons of the storyline going into the match. I feel like this match, the lead up to them at WrestleMania has been very heated. And I think some personal things have come to the forefront between these two women. And that tends to be the case with Charlotte, especially because Charlotte has this thing where if she's just not liked by the crowd or the crowd is not accepting of her, it's like she feels like there can be no other woman that gets attention. We kind of saw this a little bit with Becky Lynch. I wanted to say maybe I overlooked it when it came to Charlotte and what's my girl that's now in AEW? Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was as prevalent then, but you could definitely see it between Charlotte and Becky, and you see it now with Charlotte and Tiffany. I'm looking forward to it because I want to see, can these girls be professional enough to put on a great match? Or we know sometimes Charlotte has a tendency to not sell at all, especially when she doesn't care for a wrestler or doesn't like a wrestler or whatever. So I kind of want to see what kind of downfall comes from this, because it's been one of these things where they just can't seem to be on the same page, and it's almost like Brett and Sean, how we know that there was animosity between them, but they still got in the ring and were professionals up until the Montreal Screwjob, which that kind of really more Vince than anything.
I swear to God, I didn't.
Yeah, none of them started punching each other for real, or neither one of them started punching each other for real or whatever. They kind of, at least maintained enough professionalism to get through a match, and so that's why I'm going to pick that. And we'll just move on from it. But I'm looking forward to Charlotte and Tiffany to see if they can deliver.
So it's a bad look for Charlotte too. Like, I don't understand it. You know, like
Yeah.
yeah, man. I don't know. A lot of people. I know a lot of people don't like her because of who her dad is and nepo baby or whatever. What do you want to call her? Whatever, nepo queen, I should say. But yeah, it's very interesting that that's the case. But I mean, she's getting all the opportunities. I don't.
And I
don't
wonder if
understand.
they're going to put the belt back on Charlotte. That outcome, like what, like how the crowd is going to react to that. If Charlotte was to win again, and really, it's going to be like a John Cena effect, or at least the appearance of a John Cena effect, where you're just snuffing out talent. But if you ask John Cena, he didn't snuff out talent. He hated mediocrity, or snuffed out mediocrity.
I mean, hey, look. I mean, the only time I won't agree with that is probably with Umaga, because I felt like Umaga should have beat him, and Umaga was probably one of the one people I was like, there's no reason why John Cena should have won this match. Like Umaga killed him at that Rumble. Man, he was killing him at that Rumble. Yeah, they did Umaga dirty.
That's what needs to take out John Cena.
So welcome to the show, man. It's good to see you pop up in the comments there. And you're right. They're either gonna be wooing or booing come Sunday. So
wooing and booing.
No, it's midi time. It's midi time.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's midi time.
It's midi time. But we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw, with Io, Bianca, Rhea. We talked about Shawn Michaels hooking it up with Jada Parker, Trick Willy Wonka, Obafemi, the young OG, and of course, the Ruler. Love that guy. And then we talked about Smackdown, with the 3 hours of fire, everything with the aura, the storyline, and everything that keeps getting better with the match boot, the OTC, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and of course, proceeding with caution with Naomi. So, of course, as always, make sure you guys follow all of our social medias. Facebook, we on that. Twitter X, we on that. Instagram, we on that. TikTok, we on that. So, of course, as always, we thank you guys for all the love you guys keep giving us every week, every day, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We love it. All the love y'all giving us. We're going to keep giving y'all the same love and keep dropping content for you. So, I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the legacy maker himself, Mr. Xclusive. And we had the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel. Because we are the Xclusive Knights, and all we do is strive to make sure that, we are the best there is, the best there was, and best that ever will be.
Come on.
And to make sure that your nights will never be the same.
Hey, Sosa, MGF, Hurt Syndicate, I got my eye on it. That's no bread. That's no water. It will be just me.
Oh, one thing before we run, I got to give one shout out to my girl. She killing it in AEW, and that's Haley Cameron. Girl, you keep cooking down there in AEW. I wanted to talk about her today. I almost forgot about it. She is a masterpiece right now.
Yeah,
they got Tony Storm, and they got my girl Haley. She is killing it. Killing it with the puppet, man.
She is. She really is.
She's amazing.
But we always make sure that your nights
will never be the same. Thank you for watching.